I'm here because I was invited by a very good friend of mine from Facebook, and I want us to give her a round of applause, and that is your mom. Thank you very much. I'm here with two of my partners and brothers. We run an organization which is known as Best Men and Women Like Can Be Foundation. We hope by the grace of God it's going to grow, and we're going to be everywhere in Africa. That is our goal. If I can just share a little about this organization. It's a non-profitable organization. It's Best Men and Women Like Can Be Foundation. Simply to say, sometimes we break off as Best Men I Can Be, and then sometimes they break off as Best Women I Can Be. We have a website, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook. Now what we do forums like this, and then I invite some of my friends who are professional speakers and ministers to come and speak and empower communities. The organization was inspired by a homeless child whom I saw in the year 2004 under a bridge in the streets of Benoni on a rainy and cold day. I was sitting in the back. We were from Carnival City to enjoy a good meal, me and my friends. And as I was sitting at the back, passing by, I saw this young man sleeping in the street. And that day, I found my calling as Lonwabo Maseko. I found my calling. Everything that did not make sense in my life on that day made sense. Because the pain that that young man was going through, I could feel it as if it was me who was sleeping in the street. And God said to me, I've called you to lead my people. Young as I am. So what happened was this. The following year, which was 2005, I was elected as a head boy. I'm 26 by the way, I'm still young. So I was selected as a head boy, and I had to stand in front of the learners and speak. They will tell you, believe you me, I know you think I'm lying. Before 2005, I was very, very, very shy. Very shy. I couldn't speak, I couldn't say many words. I was always that guy. Well, I don't know how to even play soccer, that's the honest truth. But I know how to use the mic and speak to people. So I had to stand and speak to the learners. And when I stood there, I was shaking, trembling. Because you know how learners are. They can be very naughty. But as I stood there, they kept quiet and said, we want to hear what he has to say. So me at school, I was always like this. Wearing my uniform, my ties, I was just always that guy till this day. So I stood there and I speak and I said, listen, this year we're not going to have a bash. But we're going to have fun in a different way. And they said, what do you mean? Township schools have bashes every year. Nonsense more. And I said, no, listen, we're going to do fundraising. We're going to repaint our school. We're going to put windows. Because in winter, classes are cold. We're going to put on lights. And they liked the idea of that. So what we did talent shows. And we were able to fundraise the money to rebuild our school. And today it's beautiful. Hula's Secondary School is where I come from. Now 2006, no money to study, nothing to do. I said to myself, I've got a hand, I've got a mouth, and I've got a mind. How can I use these three? I started writing books, developing manuals, and I went back to this very same school, and I said, can I speak like I used to do? I said, yeah, it's fine. So every Monday I would stand in front of the learners and empower them. Little did I know that I was on a journey of self-discovery. That's the first book I've written. It's titled Journey to Self-Discovery. Education department heard about me, and they said, we want to train you as a professional facilitator. So they took us, there was about 600 of us. We went to Northwest for a training to facilitate life skills in high school and colleges, IFITI colleges. And in those 600 people, 6 people were chosen to do the first project. And guess what? I was in the first 6 people. And guess what? The very same school that I had to go and facilitate the project was the very same school that I attended high school at, Hula's Secondary School. So can you imagine the following year now, here I am at Harvard briefcase and suits, and they're like, what is happening with this student? I'm saying, I'm here to work. And life, as much as it has been hard, but I've seen great things happen. I've I've been speaking professionally it's my 8th year this year. It has been a good journey, it's rewarding. You know, most times people ask us about the money we earn. It's not about the money. It's about fulfilling a certain assignment. I'm here to speak with women. I know what women go through. I know what men take women through. I know the tears of women. I've seen women come to me and cry and say, Lonwabo, I don't understand. Because I was raised in a house where I saw my uncle abuse his wife physically almost every day. And now what happened was, after she was abused, she would take the hurt on us, abusing us. So there's a chapter in one of the books I pretend where I say, hurting people hurt other people. They don't hurt people because they want to hurt them. They hurt other people because they are hurting. I've heard as you were speaking saying there are people who have moods in the office. It's not because they have moods. There's an issue that has not been resolved. And until that issue is resolved, you will never see the smile on that person's face. So when a person is hurting, the person is going to hurt other people. Whether they are aware or whether they are not aware, they will hurt other people. You see, I'm a single guy. You know why I'm single? Because I don't want to find myself in a relationship where I want to find who Lonwabo is within my relationship. I want to find out about Lonwabo while I'm still single, so that by the time I get married, my wife gets to enjoy who Lonwabo Maseko is. So I'm going to speak to you, and I'm going to share some keys. I'm told that you are here for economic freedom. Now this is what I want to say. You can never be free, even economically, unless you are free in your mindset. Because when we speak of freedom, we speak of you being free in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul, and in your heart. As I'm standing here speaking, my mind, my heart, my soul, and my spirit are in line. My mind is not saying, well, you should be someone speaking. No, it's here. And I'm giving you my attention 100%. Because I understand that I'm supposed to deliver a package for somebody who's going through issues of life. I'm going to share 6 keys to having economic freedom as a woman. Very simple keys. And if you apply them, they will help shape your destiny. Look at your neighbor and touch yourself in the heart and say, I am a woman of destiny. I am a woman of purpose. I am a woman of vision. And I am a woman who's going to give birth to greatness. Now, this is what you need to understand. There is no one who is allowed to come on earth without a purpose or an assignment. No one is allowed to enter the premises of earth without a purpose or an assignment. If you're going to fly to another country, you're going to have to release your ticket, isn't it so? Then you're going to board to wherever you're going, right? So what God has done, He released you for a certain specific assignment. And He said, this person, I've put so much within them. And at this time of stage, I'm going to release this. God will never give us everything we want now, unfortunately. You know why? Because if God were to give us everything we want now, believe you me, we wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah. I'm a professional speaker. I travel. I'm a founder and a chairperson of Blessed Men and Women Academy Foundation. Let me tell you, that comes with a whole lot of things. Because there are people who want your attention, and if you don't give it to them, you know what they say? In the public, he looks like a good man, but he tried his pride. You go through those things and people hit you with words that will hurt you emotionally. Because you have a family, right? You have your friends. And then you have people that are coming to you for help. All of these people don't think that at a certain stage in time, you get tiresome yourself. They don't think that. They think you're always with energy. And you have people calling you 12 and you say, I'm sleeping, I'm trying to get some rest. I slept at 2 preparing for today's talk. There's not much content on my talk, but believe me, I had to study because I knew that I'm speaking before people whom I consider to be very important. Now, we often speak about leadership. And people, wherever they work, are gunning for positions to be leaders. Everyone is saying, if I can just have that position, then I'm going to go to a certain level of life. Let me tell you something. Leadership is serving yourself first, understanding who you are, and then recognizing the next person and being able to serve them without expecting anything in return. That's leadership. Mala, can move to the next slide. A leader is the person in charge, a person who convinces other people to follow. A great leader inspires confidence to others and moves them to action. A leader is the person in charge, a person who convinces other people to follow. You cannot convince other people to follow if you don't follow yourself. It's highly impossible. You know, this morning when I was going through this talk, I said to myself, it's so amazing that in the olden days, people didn't have watch, but people were able to wake up at 4 o'clock. Now those were leaders. Rola Yakali wash and you say, it's that time of the day, especially Monday. You say, can't it be a holiday? No, you're a leader. Stand up, go take a bath, eat breakfast, take the kids to school, prepare something for us, go to work, and understand that when you work, you're expected to deliver results of excellence, as a matter of fact. Dr. Nkosa Zanazuma, can you please clap our hands for her? This woman has tremendously climbed the ladder, step by step. Step by step. This is what happens when your heart is for the people, not your own agenda. When your heart is for the people, believe you me, you're gonna escalate great heights in your life. Let's go through her achievements. She was South Africa's Minister of Health from 1994 to 1999. On the 17th of June 1999 to the 10th of May 2009, she served as the Minister of Foreign Exchange Affairs. She was moved to the position of Minister of Home Affairs in the cabinet of President Jacob Zuma on the 10th May 2009, a capacity in which she served until her resignation on the 2nd of October 2012. On the 15th of July 2012, she was elected by the African Union Commission as its chairperson, making her the first woman to lead the organization. A round of applause again for KwaZulu-Natal. I'll give you 3 Ds that this woman understood in her life, which made her to where she is in life. The first D is discover. She discovered who she was. Dr. Nkosa Zanazuma discovered who she was. And then the second D, when she discovered who she was, she then developed herself. She discovered who she was. And then she did not end there. She did what? Developed herself. Let's say it together. She did what? Let's say it together. She did what?
She developed herself.
Develop yourself. How do you develop yourself? Through education? Someone else? Let's engage. How do you develop yourself? Self-introspection. Self-introspection. Somebody else? Self-understanding. Last person? Learning from the best. Yes, learning from the best. She did all of that, and then she did the 3D, and that is displaying. When you have discovered who you are, you develop yourself. And after you've developed yourself, you then display. And after you've displayed, you shall be approved. You discover, you develop, you display, and then you shall be approved. We have a problem with many people today. They want to discover and display without developing. problem in the whole entire world. Do you know what is happening in the townships with teenagers? We live in a world where we are moving in a paradigm shift of 360 degrees, where things are so fast. If you do not know who you are, you're going to live your life for other people. You're going to buy cars you cannot afford. You're going to buy clothes you cannot afford. You're going to stay in a suburb you cannot afford for the sake of catching up with the standard. And later on, you're going to crash and burn. And you might lose everything you had. Live a simple life as a woman of wisdom. Live a very simple life. Be comfortable with yourself. Be comfortable with yourself. Know that you too also will rise in God's time. Because all of us have time. 6 keys to having economic freedom as a woman. I'm going to give you these keys, and I hope that they're going to help you. The first key is you must be a purpose-driven woman. What does the word purpose mean? It means the reason why something exists on earth. The word purpose means the reason why something exists on earth. You see this chair? I can stand on top of it right now and put on a bar. But this chair was not made for that. This chair was made for me to do what? To sit. That's the purpose of this chair. Not for me to stand on top of it. Dr. Maseko says, where purpose is not known, we've got a problem with many people. They do not know who they are. And that is why they are living lives that they are not supposed to live. Let me tell you this about yourself. A woman is a soldier. You've got an assignment that you're carrying. Your job is to not rest and say, we'll see. No. As a matter of fact, according to Solomon, a man who was considered the wisest man on earth in his old days, he says, a wise woman builds her home, or rather her house. Women, we can go work and bring income at home, but at the end of the day, a woman is able to tell, lovey, let's put on this color, let's buy this bedroom. I think if we have this enough room, then it's fine. You have been given amazing wisdom that some of you have been hiding for years and years because you are intimidated by people who have nothing to do with where you are going. Live your life. Destiny is calling you. A woman who is purpose-driven is a woman with vision. That woman understands this. I cannot live my life bouncing like a tennis. I need to be strategic. I need to know what is it that I'm doing at a certain period of time. A woman of vision plans. You don't just say, let's see how it goes. That's the language of men. We talk that way. We say, I will go to Sawanakasas. But women don't do that. Yours is to question when somebody's proposing something and say, how are we going to do it? Don't just say, we'll do it. No. That's dangerous for you. That's dangerous for you. A vision is a clear picture of where you want to go or see yourself in the future. You see, when I was developing this talk, from 8 till 1 o'clock in the morning this morning, I told you, it looks simple, but it's not simple. Because you develop a talk, then you have to study. I saw what was going to happen here today. I had a clear vision. I saw my suit. I knew the shoes I was going to wear. I knew exactly what was going to happen, the traffic and everything. I saw this happening. It was a clear vision. I didn't see a room full of men and women. I knew that it's a women's event. So I saw everything that was happening here. The question is, do you have a vision for your life? You may be supporting the vision of the office of the premier. But the question is, do you have a vision for your life? If you don't have, it's very simple. Make 10 minutes today at home, go sit down in a quiet room and start writing. As you write, something is going to come out, believe you me, and stick to that. My vision is simple. To serve people, to speak and change people's life, and to make a difference in all places where God is going to take me through. Very simple. If fame comes, that's okay. I know how to handle this. If millions come, that's okay. That means God has a reason why He's blessing me with millions. But my vision is simple: to speak and change the people's life. Yes, sir. Woman of faith. My woman of faith understands this. She is established in certain principles. See, my grandmother is a woman of faith. What you give me, you will never bring a girlfriend in this house before you finish school. And I never did. Those will have values. And because of those values, I have been raised to be the young man that I am today. What is a value? Values are important factors, or rather aspects of your life. Personal. I've got values I share with Gauteng, with Mandla, but I've got my own personal values. I never go and deliver a talk without a suit and a tie. That's my value. I never do that. If I do that, it is because it's too hot and I decide to take the tie out. But that's my value. I respect my job because I respect the audience that is listening to me. Be a woman of faith. Have principles that you established. We live in a world and in a time where parents are afraid of their children. No, he's going to kill himself. Don't do that. With that child, they're going to be straightened. We grew up in that environment. And I'm a great man today because I was raised with certain values. My family can tell you this. They've never seen me drunk. They've never seen me smoke. They can tell you that. To a point where my father started saying, no more it's fine. Just to see if you're still a man or you're still a human being. It felt good hearing my dad saying that because of the respect that I give him. The values that I have, that I will never drink in front of my father. I will never do that. He must never see me drunk. So they don't know whether I drink or whether I don't drink. They don't know. People who know are God in their mind. Next slide, sir. Know your strength as a woman. Let me tell you something about you. You have been fearfully and wonderfully created in the image of God. You are the rose in the thorns. You are the light in the darkness. You moved from being a slave to being a queen. You have been seated in a place of kingsmanship. Your status has been elevated from being a slave to being a queen, from living in a shack to living in a mansion. That's where you are seated with God as a woman. That's where you are seated as a purpose-driven woman. Therefore, as you live your life, understand this. Please slide to the next slide, sir. Dr. Miles Monroe says this: both single men and married men need women as fellow workers and colleagues in this world if they are going to fulfill their purpose. It is so true. Can you please stand and tell me, say, it is so true. Yes, it is the truth. It is the truth. There are things that women that we work with in our organization, Best Men and Women Can Be Foundation, that I cannot do. They take care of our guests. They serve our guests. When they are around, as a matter of fact, things that were frustrating me, they start getting solved because they've arrived. And I say, here my ladies, I know they take care of this thing. There is nothing we can do as men that you ladies are not helping us to achieve. They say behind a great man there's a... Yes, behind a great... I want us to talk together so that you may be part of what is happening here. Don't miss your greatness. Behind a great man there's a great... Behind a great man there's a great... Look at yourself and say, I am that great woman. Touch yourself and say, I am that great woman. You see, as I'm saying this, I'm watching everybody. There are people who are not saying that. Let me tell you this. When you speak words in the environment, you affirm yourself. Two things happen in life. If you don't release words to yourself, somebody will affirm you. And the question is, are the words that they are speaking about you true? Are those words uprooting, or are those words taking you to a destiny? So let's say it again. I am a great woman.
I am a great woman.
Yes, you are a great woman. You are a great woman. Believe in yourself and know that you are not a mistake. When a woman and a man sleep together, millions of sperms are released by a man. But only one sperm or only one seed fertilized in the womb. Please go back, sir. Only one seed fertilized the womb. Only one seed fertilized the womb. Why did I put that picture? I wanted to show you guys the greatness of who you are. You guys are able to carry stuff that men are not able to carry. You are able to ensure things that men are not able to ensure. You are able to give birth to greatness. My mother gave birth to me at the age of 25, and at the age of 29, she passed on. That was the assignment. That's the assignment. She gave birth to my sister, and my sister came, and then she gave birth to Lonwabo Maseko, and then she left the earth. That was her assignment. If you don't get it right the first time, God will give you a second child. If you don't get it right again, God will give you a third child. You have been given a womb as a woman to carry stuff that men are not able to carry. Therefore, you deserve to clap hands for yourself. Is it okay if I have my glass of water? Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Move to the next slide. Next one. Women of character. Women of what? Character. Women go through so many stuff. But as I said on the last slide, you guys are able to carry things that are heavy that men would say, I know I wouldn't carry a baby, believe me, I don't think I'd be able to go through that pain. Not giving birth to a baby, thank God I'm a man. But you guys are able to go through that. I've seen a woman smile even though things are bad. I've seen a woman smile even though she does not know what her children are going to eat. And she'll just say, everything is going to be okay, baby. And the child will smile because a woman has given that child hope. I've seen a woman do that. I've seen my grandmother say to me, don't worry, when your time has come, you'll be established as a great speaker. You will travel the world. That's a woman. And because she said that, I would smile and say, Makoko, it's Koko-san. That's the strength that a woman has.